Yeah, man, well said, well said. And I just can't understand when ex-legends like Terry, Lampard, guys like Ballack, so many former players that have been vouching very hard for the academy, when they're giving you guys a vote of confidence, letting you know we've got a lot of players that really are the real deal. I don't understand why skepticism even falls into place. I don't understand why there's no optimism. And I think, with internet culture as well, I think sometimes, a lot of pessimistic views do get, maybe they get the attention that they don't necessarily deserve, in my opinion. I've made that mistake quite a few times, when you challenge someone's tweet or retweet something that is quite, a bit out there, you're only giving that attention, and really I've realized it's not really that deep. And I do feel like there's a lot of fans that really do think this strategy is the best thing. And I want to say to people that might be having some doubts in regards to the new direction from the club, we've done it different ways. We've done it the way that you guys have wanted to see. And yeah, we have been able to get success, but it's always been at the cost of something. There's always been a price to pay, and it's never been long term. So it's like, if we've done that approach so many times, maybe it makes sense now to try something different. And when so many former players have been vouching for this approach and this new direction as well, and when a lot of these former players are actually back in the club right now, taking up senior positions, this is the real deal now, you guys. This is really happening. The measures are in place now to make this happen. The opportunities are going to be given to our young players. And I know some of you guys might be thinking, oh, Nini, Mason Mount isn't good enough. I don't understand where that came from. But think about the long term. Now, with our academy, let's not pretend that we're never going to get any more good age groups coming through anymore. The new scholars for this year are very, very highly rated. Someone like a Miles Pert Harris, for example, is someone that's really been spoken about a lot. We have other generations coming through. And it's like, in the next 4 to 5 years, there could be a new influx of players that could even be better than the young players we have now. And if they do get places in the team, if they are used, we'll be thanking guys like Lampard. We'll be thanking guys like Petr Cech, Edwards, Morris, because they set the foundations in place to make this future become a reality.
Yeah, and real quickly, I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, pick one. You wanted youth to play. Now they're going to have their chance to play, and it makes sense because there's a transfer ban. And if they weren't going to play, and let's say as Phil Equator started off the season poorly, but Reece James wasn't in the mix, or you brought in a manager that didn't want to play youth, then all of a sudden, I know I would be hearing from so many, oh, Aspie's washed up. Where's Reece
Of
James?
course, exactly.
Again, if Hudson-Odoi wasn't in the picture, or you brought in a manager that didn't want to play a teenager, you'd be like, oh, another year of Willian and Pedro and no. Listen, I can hear it now. So it's like there's a balance. And by the way, Manchester City and Liverpool are just so damn good. So I really feel like with a transfer ban and knowing that, let's be real, you're not going to win the league this upcoming season.
Of course.
But also knowing that Arsenal and Manchester United are not in great spots. It's like, are you sacrificing all that much by not appealing the ban right now, or by not asking for the ban to be frozen, by depending on a little bit more youth, but still having a balance? Let's be real, still having a balance. Like the starting 11 against Manchester United is going to be almost all veterans. I mean, probably will be all veterans. So let's slow down on like, oh, it's going to be all youth. Relax, that's not totally true.
Of course.
But either way, like, this is kind of the perfect time to do it. And no one's saying that the club is not going to then go and try and buy actual world-class players when they can. So
exactly. I mean, the club even came out to state that, listen, young players, we're setting you guys a challenge now for next season. If you perform, you can help fend off a massive spending spree for next season. And, with the players we have at our disposal, with guys that are very ambitious in their careers, I think that's the best way to communicate to them, to get them worked up and pumped for next season.
Yeah, I mean, 1,000%. So the plan really, Nini, is this season, you still try and get top four. You do, obviously, just because I think Manchester City, Liverpool, they're a different class. Tottenham with Ndombele, I mean, I'd like to say Tottenham are third best. But with Arsenal and Manchester United, it's up for grabs, that fourth spot. But at worst, obviously, top six. I know people out there are like top 8, top 10. I don't think that's really that realistic. But hey, once again, cynics. But anyway, you have
Yeah,
as best of a season as you can this upcoming year. But then you figure out all along the way what young players do we really have something with, who can contribute, who's a piece for now and
yeah,
future. And then next summer, you plug in the holes, you fill in the gaps, and hopefully, Nini, you just have to buy a couple world-class players.
exactly.
And like you just said,
Yes,
like Marino,
yeah,
you don't have to go buy a whole new team. You just have to say to yourself, all right, maybe we do need a world-class striker. Maybe we do need a world-class left back. But oh, because of Mount, we might not need another midfielder. Or because of Reece James, we might not need a right back. Or because of
course.
Ampadu,
Yeah,
or
thank
whoever
you.
it is, we might
Exactly.
plug in the holes next season, see what you have now.
Exactly. I mean, just the names are listing off. Reece James, Mason Mount. We've got Ruben. We've got Hudson-Odoi, Christensen, Tammy. He's coming back. He's hungry. He deserves to have an opportunity. I don't understand the pessimism. I don't understand why people don't have any faith in these players. I mean, they're young. They're hungry. They're going to be playing with confidence. And as a fan base, we saw what happened when we really backed Hudson-Odoi and Ruben. They've come out, I mean, so many times talking about how they've been feeding off the energy from the crowd. And you have to understand, playing in front of a big stadium like that, in front of 40,000 people, you're going to feel the pressure regardless. Sometimes we look at these players, we think they're just like entertainment figures, but they are human beings. They do feel the pressure. And when you support the guys, when you have the fans on your side, that's how you start to see performances that supersede what they show. And I think Ruben was one player in particular that really showed that with confidence, wow, this guy can be world class. And I remember seeing Ruben back in the day when he was first making his name. He wasn't as confident. I felt that he didn't express himself too much on the ball. You can understand it because we had guys like Mourinho and all these guys that didn't embrace his game. Sarri came, the fans backed it, and now we've got a Ruben that can take on the whole world now. And I'm hoping that fans are going to have that same energy for the other young players. I mean, look at Mason Mount, Reece James, even Christensen could do with some of that love as well. And just, to end things now, I think that's one thing that I'm really excited about for next season in particular. And that's the idea that finally there's going to be atmosphere at the grounds again. Hopefully the fans are going to be fully invested in the team now because they're seeing all these young guys that they've been talking about, reading about, watching from when they were kids, representing us, putting the shirt on, playing at Stamford Bridge. And I'm really hoping now that, the fans are going to come back. The energy is going to come back. The passion's going to come back. I've always felt that with football today, fans do have a bit of a consumerist mentality where it's about instant gratification at all costs, regardless of, long-term, short-term, whatever. But now we have to embrace the projects. Now we have to embrace the young players that we will be turning to. And now it's time to fall back in love with the club again.
Well said. I mean, Stamford Bridge is just going to have a different vibe to it this upcoming season. I even think, listen, fans are always going to want results, but I just think that the energy around the stadium is going to be special. I expect a lot of songs, a lot of chants. I expect it just to feel almost more like a fortress where it is just a place where people want to unite and not cause problems and not be toxic. And I think the chance will go way past Frank Lampard. I think Jody Morris is going to be a hugely positive figure this year. I think Jody Morris is a key to a lot of this, but I just think the familiarity that the fans have with these guys, and by the way, there's now talks of Drogba possibly returning to the staff. There's talks of really a lot of former people that fans love. So I think the familiarity the fans have with these people, and then vice versa, the way these people, Lampard and co, feel about the fans, that's going to create something special. And I'm sick of hearing the Ole Manchester United comparison.
Oh, those dead comparisons, honestly.
And by the way, I'm not even saying that he's a complete failure. Obviously, he had a good period at Manchester United, and then it ended really sour. But how do we know that's even fully his fault? But don't make the comparisons. Just don't, they're their own entities. And I only think that cynics or people who are just against the Lampard appointment, they just want to bring up Ole and how it ended. But why not?
Yeah.
Played for a while before it went sour. So
yeah, of course.
just make Frank Lampard and this situation different from any other.
Exactly.
It is different.
Exactly, man. And there's levels to this stuff. I mean, we've already seen what Solskjaer did a few years back with Cardiff. He did nothing. So that was your reference point immediately to let you know, okay, it might not be smooth sailing at Man United, but Lampard's, if you don't think that he's proven himself, he's taken over a Derby team that, you know, had to rely upon young players because, you know, after so many opportunities where they've messed up in the final hurdle, a lot of their players left. They had to turn to their academy, and they were underdogs in that sense. You know, Lampard, Morris came, got things running again, got them competing with the limited resources they had. He looked for creative squad solutions, for example, Bogle being introduced as a fullback, which really helped Derby as the season went on. And one more thing too, he's played against so many teams where they've been far superior than Derby, and they've always come out competing. Now, I'm going to let you guys know this straight away. Sorry, Alex. I'll let you guys know this straight away. Tomorrow, I'm releasing, you know, the 4 tactics that prove why Lampard is good enough to manage us. I'm going to be focusing on the games against Man United, us, Aston Villa, and Leeds as well. So I think once you watch those videos, if you're feeling any doubt, hopefully it's going to be over. And yeah, I think now is probably the best time to wrap things up. Alex, I'll let you have your closing thoughts and obviously plug away what you need to, and then we'll keep it moving.
All right, cool. So that actually segues. I was just about to say, I hate the narrative of he took Derby from 6th to 6th because the team was under different circumstances. And I want to hear from someone that's not you or I, Nini, about what Frank Lampard actually had to endure with this Derby squad this past season and why he did have a lot of things going against him. Here's my plug. Listen to my first ever episode on the Byline podcast where I interviewed Mason Mount's father, Tony Mount. He spoke on the job Frank Lampard has done with Derby this past season and what he might have had going against them that other managers in the championship did not have going against them. So yeah, there's my plug. And obviously, like I said, if you want to check out the newest episode, which will be out very, very soon with Conor Gallagher, it was a good one. It was definitely a good one. So I urge you to check that out. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that, man. I mean, obviously you had Gabriel Marcotti on. He's my favorite football journalist, and that was just like a pleasure to listen to. So you guys, honestly, the price for the Patreon really costs nothing. You're getting some fantastic quality in return. It's worth it. I'm signed up. Make sure you do the same thing as well. I just want to wrap things up too. And yeah, thank you, Frank Lampard. Thank you for coming back. I'm happy that things are finally starting to happen right now with this club. And it's quite ironic that these old heads that we used to rely upon back in the day to lead us to success, that won us trophies, that won us European titles, we've had to turn to them again now to lead us into the future. And I think the appointment of Frank Lampard is the perfect way to symbolize this. And you guys, that's going to be me for today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Nini FC. This is Byline CV. Signing out.